Hey guys, how's it going? Um, Sorry I haven't been able to get to this before now. Um, it's been a pretty busy week. Haven't had a lot of time to sort of jump on and do anything. Um, First off, congrats to all the guys that made it into the Titan playoffs. Congrats to Spirit and Jake for getting the first week buys. Um, from a personal perspective, it was a pretty disappointing end of the season, um, but it happens. Shit happens. Um, so when I'm doing this, we are currently in the middle of the first game on Sunday morning. So there's still we've already had one game play. There's half game down here now between the Vikes and Bengals. So there is actually a little bit of scoring that's happened so far. Um, Automatically defaults to my game. I don't want to look at that. So the Titan Bowl playoff games that are on, uh, the Buffalo All Americans and the Akron Pros and the Green Bay Packers and the Providence Steamrollers. Um, let's have a look at this one. So Buffalo's had one player go, scored 4 points. That was Nate Hobbs. Um, Blowout game, wasn't a big game for corners and so forth. There wasn't a lot of tackling in the game, I don't think. Joey's got a couple going here now. Hasn't had any play previously. So Cam Bynum and TJ Hawkinson. Um, Probably underperforming on what he would like right now, especially Bynum. He's basically done nothing, one tackle. Hawkinson, it's going to be hard to tell what sort of points he's going to get with Nick Mullins and at quarterback. That's not ideal. Very ordinary situation, actually. Um, if he had a better option, I nearly would have considered sitting him in this. I could sound stupid by the end of this. Overall, I think Joey's team's a fair bit stronger than what Dave's is, but that doesn't mean a lot. Weird things happen in fantasy football every week, so Dave's defense has been scoring pretty well, and that'll be the. I think that's the one way he's got a chance to possibly pull this out. I don't think he does, but I think Joey's team's just stronger. He's got two quarterbacks to start with. That already puts you in a better position. And Dave's wide receivers are hit and miss. He's got a couple of guys there that have got very bad quarterback situations. Some weeks they hit, some weeks they don't. Mind you, no, I think Brees has been doing all right lately. Where are we? Yeah, no, he scored well last week, but I mean that come a lot on receiving. He hasn't done much rushing for most of the season, outside of probably 2 games. He's been pretty ordinary running the ball. So, yeah, that's probably not ideal. Matchup wise, they kind of look like they've got fairly solid matchups. That's probably not ideal. Denver's defense has actually been playing pretty well. I don't know how well Detroit will do there, and Detroit are not playing good right now. They looked pretty ordinary last week, actually. And Jared Goff has fallen off a cliff. That's the Jacksonville Baltimore matchup. Probably pretty big in this game, actually. You got Lamar going for Joey, Travis Etienne going for Joey, and he's got Roquan as well. Jadeveon Clowney as well. And then, like, Evan Ingram's been huge for David this year. He's had some massive games. Where are we? Like, he scored 93 points the last 2 weeks. And while I'm watching this, looks like the Vikings just scored a touchdown. Yeah, if he's not going to get that against Baltimore, I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't think he goes anywhere near it. Actually, before that, he was averaging sort of 10 to 20 points for the 3 weeks before it. So that's probably around about where he hits. Yeah, there's not much has happened in this one yet. So, but gun to my head, I'd pick Joey to win. He's just got the better football team, I think. Yeah, we got Packers up against the Steamrollers. I know the Steamrollers have actually lost a couple of guys. Lost one guy that was a pretty important part was Grant Delpit. Lost him this week for the rest of the season, and he'd been pretty good. He had a really good season actually. Pat's actually had a number of players go already. What's he got? He got Eckler's played. He didn't do a lot. Jefferson's playing right now, and he's sort of not doing a great deal. Khalil Mack's games played, manageable at 17 points. Mike Hilton's having a good game. Eli Gilman didn't do much. Pretty slow starts, actually. And same thing for Kenneth and Wayne. Trayvon Moehrig did nothing. And must be another player. Oh, there it is. AJ Cole. 9 points out of a punt is all right. You take that. This is so Pat really wants Dak to continue what he's been doing of late. Interesting game up against Buffalo. Buffalo's so hot and cold, you got no idea what you're going to get. They could play lights out. They could just shit the bed like they do half the time too. Tyreek's battling injuries. I don't know if he's still got a injury designation at all. Yeah, he is. He's still questionable. I don't know if he's practiced. Hadn't practiced all week that I know of. So, but I mean that means nothing for Tyreek. If he's good to go, he'll play. Yeah, the quarterback situation's hurting Jefferson as well. Nick Mullins is not good. He's probably playing all right at the moment and doing enough to keep the Vikings in front, but yeah, not ideal. The other tough one for Pat is Miami's matchup against the Jets. So far this season, up against good defenses, the Dolphins haven't been that impressive. They've moved the ball well against most teams, but they've really struggled to score in big matchups. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Pretty important game for Patty there too, because he's going to have Mostert and Tyreek Hill up against the Jets defense. Yeah, like I say, interesting to see how that pans out. For the brothers, Pat Mahomes up against the Patriots. Patriots D's actually played pretty well, even though the Patriots have stunk. And the Chiefs have not played well at any stage, I don't think. Outside of 1 or 2 games, they've been pretty stagnant. Chuba Hubbs not a great start, but playing against Atlanta, he should score some points. McCaffrey. You play him every week. Montgomery up against Denver, probably not a great matchup. Diggs against Dallas, probably not a great matchup either, but Mike Evans against Green Bay is probably not a great matchup either. Green Bay's D's played pretty well. DK against Philly. Well, for the most part, Philly haven't played well certainly in the secondary. So I got to imagine DK will get some points. And defense, I'm not even going to sit here and try and predict that. Anything could happen. It can and does every week. I haven't really got a preference either way here. This game could go either way. Probably comes back to a couple of key matchups. That Miami and Dallas Buffalo, the Miami Jets and Dallas Buffalo game, going to be huge. If Paddy's guys can fire in that, he's definitely a show. If they don't, he could be in trouble. Yeah, hard to say. Anyway, so now we'll move to the Titanic Bowl playoffs. These are the guys that had a not so good season. That's one way to put it, I guess. I think we all would have preferred better. So, Eagles, Bears. We've had some guys go here. So for Robbie, he's got 54 points up already. 34 from Devonta Adams from the other night. And nearly 20 points off Derwin James. So that's a pretty good start. You can get 50 points out of two players to start the week off. But take that to the bank every week. Matty's probably got his first player going now. He has, and that's Joe Mixon. Hasn't done a lot, only 4 points, and we're in the third quarter. We've got something else up on the screen at the moment. I can't say exactly how far into the third quarter. They say 10 minutes on here, so that's probably pretty close. Yeah, 9:55 to go. So, Robbie's got some solid matchups. Philly against Seattle should be a pretty solid matchup. They'll generally give up some points. And he's got a good matchup with Stafford up against the Commanders, because the Commanders are not good defensively, especially not after they traded everyone away. Alvin Kamara up against the Giants too probably looks like a fairly solid matchup. And yeah, the rest is what it is. He's really hurting at tight end, actually. Is Granson actually? I don't know if I'd start calling Granson. This might be the one tip I might throw out there. Well, something's happening in the game over here. They're doing somersaults in the end zone. Got no idea. Yeah, you haven't got a lot of tight end to pick from, actually. So I'd nearly look at Noah Fant, mate. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell. All right. For Matty, CML up against the Rams, probably not a horrible matchup. Trevor Lawrence against Baltimore could be a horrible matchup. D-Hop's been playing well. Cooper Kupp, for the most part, he's been solid. Frymouth got it. Pitts. Got to imagine he's not happy having to start 3 tight ends, but as long as they're all getting targets, it's all good. No, they're pretty good tight ends, so. And yeah, there's not much there. He'd want to start at wide receiver anyway, so and didn't have Josh Jacobs to use this week because he was out with injury. So, given the start Robbie's had, I'd nearly tip Robbie to win this. He's off to a good start, and yeah, there's just a couple of matchups I don't like on Matt's team, specifically that Trevor Lawrence matchup against Baltimore. He just hasn't. Trevor just hasn't played that great this year. He's had a couple of games where he's had really good games, but I just can't see that happening against Baltimore. He's played all right late, actually. He's hit 40s, 30s, 30, and 23 last week. But the Ravens are the number 2 ranked defense against quarterback points this season, so and averaging at the moment about 17 points a game. That's hard. And they haven't really given up anything, I don't think. There's probably a way I can look at it, but no, I can't. There is, but it's miles away from where I'm at. I'll give a slight lean to Robbie here. Maybe he can pull out the win here and move on to the Titanic Bowl championship next week. All right. This is myself up against the Staten Island Stapletons up against the Miami Dolphins. Jared's not getting a good start here from Jake Browning, sitting on 1.49 so far into the third quarter. I've got a feeling he actually just threw another interception before, so I would have thought it'd be 2. I don't know. I'm not really watching the game. It's off to me left, so. And Josh Metellus is doing sweet FA currently. Oh, there you go. You just got another point, another tackle or something, I think. But just ticked over to 10.5 points. What have I got going? I've got 3 players playing here. Jamar Chase is doing nothing. Daniil Under is having a really good game. Thank Christ he is, because he's making up for what the other 2 aren't doing. Dax Hill's probably about doing what Josh Metellus is. So, well, I did see Dax Hill knock a ball down before, and he didn't get a pass defense for it. I mean, isn't that what a dropped interception is? Whatever. What do we got? What do we matchup wise? Brock Purdy up against the Cardinals for Jared's a good matchup. This Cleveland-Chicago game is not a good matchup. I've got both my quarterbacks tied up in that. And Jared's got Jerome Ford in, and Amari Cooper. So it's not these two, like the Bears D, since they traded for Montez Sweat, has been top 5 rated in the NFL. They're not giving up yards on the ground or in the air at the moment, and they've been causing a lot of turnovers. Unfortunately, from my own perspective, I have to start Flacco because I simply just don't trust Bailey Zappi up against anyone to play. And I haven't got anything else. I could play another position player, but I just don't. I don't know. I can't see it. Well, he's been playing right. Just given where the game is at the moment, I'd probably give a slight leaning to myself to win the matchup, but it could go either way. Neither teams. Actually, Jared's team's been playing all right down the stretch. He's had a couple of good weeks. Pulled a double win last week off of Joey. And my team hasn't fired for a few weeks. So, yeah, maybe slightly into myself, but not much. I can't. you can't really put anything away here at the moment. There's too much. Well, we're down to 4 minutes left in the third quarter of this game currently. Yeah, and defense is too hard to predict. I have no idea. Just hope. I'd like to see Hunter maybe pinch another sack or two if he can. Not asking for much. I don't know, 60 point game wouldn't be too bad. Might make up for what my offense doesn't do this week. Anyway, I haven't got much else. I was going to try and organise somebody to come on with me this week, but I just couldn't pin down a time to actually sit down and do it. Just too busy with work and stuff I had to do when I was getting home. So anyway, lads, good luck this week. Obviously not for Spirit and Jake, but for everyone else. Hopefully we can get through mainly injury free and see who can get through to the next week. Thanks, guys.